I want to know how you guys felt after watching the first one and how people
To be honest,
have
I
commented.
watched it over maybe 5 or almost 10 times because every day I check the views. Because I am the one who suggests this book club and suggests to upload this in YouTube.
Anyway, hope the second one blows up once again.
If you are able to take a time machine, will you go back to your teenage era or?
I have a straightforward answer for this. I don't want to go back to my teenage era. It was too much studying. I think I didn't really enjoy my teenage life because just like Jisoo mentioned, teenage era is the one where we can actually like live our life without any responsibility or without any serious thinking of our own life because we have our parents, like there's nothing much we could do at the time. But I think I didn't fully enjoy the most of it.
So if you go back, you get a chance to enjoy your teenage life.
As a K student in Korean society, especially in that kind of educational system where I used to be, if my whole environment was changed, like is going to be changed, then I may or may not enjoy the life. I don't know, if everything stays the same and I just go back to my teenage era, I don't think I'll ever get to enjoy again. But if I go back to my 20s, I will let my life a little... I let it go. I'll just let it go. Yeah. I still, and at the time more, I think I have a very high level of anxiety, especially on the uncertainties. I was too worried about those uncertain, black, unimaginable future that I was going to face when I grow up. So I was very worried about my job, my career, or my grade as a uni student, like all those things. Because you know, like 20s, the direction or the choice you make actually can direct your whole life in many different ways. I thought I was like so anxious and so worried about all those things so that I couldn't really again enjoy the life as a uni student. Because of course, as in 20s, I had a little more responsibility than my teenage era, but still I was very young and I'm immature. So I want to go back to the early 20s. I especially want to go back to 2014 when I went to the exchange student program. I want to let everything go so that I can enjoy my full moment there in the States. Because I think I kind of like lived a very similar life as a Korean university.
Just
Studying. Yeah, just change the location and everything. Like the whole me was just me.
But what about your early 20s that you did lots of extracurricular activities? And do you regret it? Will you reduce it and enjoying something other?
I wasn't really stressed out all those like busy schedules. I loved it somehow.
Then you don't have time to do
No. I mean, like I was so worried about all those futures ahead of me. So all those like busy schedules, the default mode was me worrying about my life.
So you will keep your lifestyle, but you want to change your mindset at the time.
Yes.
But that was like how the uni culture was at that era. Because they say to you that if you do this, it helps you put your resume together, and that's why people do it.
I know. Do you remember Dolly mentioned, like later in the book, I want to have the mindset, the experiences, the wisdom of me growing up, but having a body younger age.
But really, if you have all of it, you think that you could enjoy it that early 20s?
Yes. Because at least I know what's going to happen. At least I don't have any uncertainties.
But
that
I
I'm
think
anxious about.
that the variety of 20s is coming from uncertainty.
Not knowing.
Not knowing it.
You can't let go if you know everything. It's the immaturity of the 20s that
I
matter.
also want to go back to early 20s because I also think that I didn't spend my 20s at that freely because I need to go back to the house before 11 p.m. and even in exchange students, I didn't have much friend, and that kind of things are really kind of regret to me. If I go back, I want to have more open mind to everyone. Especially I think I'm a quite introvert person in university. So if I had more open-minded, I could experience much more things and meet many other people. Maybe it also could lead me in other way of life.
I have a point where I enjoyed life at the most, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want to go back. If I could go back, I would enjoy it again. But at this point, I don't really want to go back and change something. The reason I would like to go back is that I enjoyed that period so much. But in terms of like going back in time to change the way I lived, I don't really have a point.
So you don't have any regrets to your 20s?
I mean, obviously people have regrets, but I don't think I would go back and change my life drastically.
Wow.
Because because the way I control my life, I control the stress, my view in life is what's going to happen is going to happen. I think that life is something I can't control. Like obviously some choices will lead me in some direction, but it won't really change like the direction of my life. So it's kind of like 정신승리. But looking back, if I'm too stressed about should I have made that choice and would I have changed my life, at that point I was bound to make that choice. So what's going to happen is going to happen, and I don't have to struggle to weigh all my choices in life. I just do what's given at that point. I just do my best at that point.
Let's move on to the next one.
I want to move on to how did you feel when you turned 30? How's it living at 30? So
That was actually the one that I was going to
do you
do.
think something is obviously changed in 30s compared to 20s?
Thinking back, I was very afraid of being 29, not being 30. So I felt very weird when facing my 29th birthday. I couldn't really stand me being 30. Like that 30 was like right in front of me. I think I've been through a little rough time at the moment. Me being in the 30s and me hitting the 32 recently, I think I'm still going through the existential crisis or the quarter life crisis. Yes, that's true. But I think I have more I think I'm more relaxed to facing all those difficulties in my life. I am still anxious and I still am worried about all those uncertainties that is coming ahead of me. But I think I'm more relaxed in handling those suffers or the difficulties and everything.
Wow, you look so grown up.
Yeah, I think that's the main difference between me being in the 20s and me being in the 30s. Because, you know, as Jisoo just mentioned, we can't do anything about life. If it happens, then it happens, right? I get it. But somehow I am still anxious. Then what I need to change or what I can change is me, myself. Then let's be more relaxed. Anxious, but a little more relaxed. Then I think I get to have more gut, or I can have more power, or maybe have some time to ask my friends, or my partner, or my family, like what I should do. I think that kind of like relaxing power, or relaxation change is the main difference of me. And also, one big difference, I think it's not because I'm in 30s, or maybe yes, but recently I faced a serious health issue. And that moment kind of like brought me the chance to look back on me, myself. So I kind of like highlight self-care these days. Back in the 20s, I think I didn't really care myself. Rather, I did care other people, or my future, or my achievement, or things ahead of me, not me. But me being in the 30s and me facing all those like collapsing down, I got to have a chance to look back upon me, myself, and then to, you know, like the more you love myself. The more you love yourself, the more you get to handle things in the right way.
Then your 30s so far is much stable even than 20s?
Yes, and I think the marriage also influenced me a lot. Still is influencing me. I think the status of being stable does matter a lot, especially to me because I am such an anxious person about all those uncertainties. But you know, like marriage itself anyway somehow gives you the certain status.
At least one thing is certain and never change.
Yes, and I am also a person who like values the relationship so much, not just with the partner, but with friends and family and everything. So the relationship status now becomes so stable and so certain in my life. Then
You
that's
don't have
like
to worry about that.
I don't have to worry about it. It became like solid foundation of me. I think that also is a huge difference to me between the 20s and the 30s.
I found the ritual that makes me comfortable, so I'm at a point where my life is stable. I don't really have like worries about my career or something like that. So it's like a stable stage. But now I want to think about how I'm going to live my life so I can enjoy my life more. So the topics of my thoughts have changed. I think that's the different part in my 30s. So it's more about how I'm going to take care of my life from now on, because now I'm responsible for me and myself. It's a bit different from my 20s. I didn't really have like a dynamic transition into my 30s, but it gradually grew into that. So I'm less worried about, I don't really want to go out a lot like I did before. I just want to spend time
Taking care of you.
So it's like I want to find out a life pattern that fits me. So that's what I'm more focused on.
When I turned 30, I actually didn't think about too much about turning 30. I thought I denied that I was 30. I turned 30, but I still felt like I'm 20s, so I didn't really upset it. Also, it was the time that checking the age is different, like Yoon President's age and Korean age. So actually I spent 30s for 3 years. Yes, maybe that's why I didn't think about too much turning 30. But to be honest, last year I finally felt like, wow, I finally become a 30s. It's 32 years old in Korean age, so I am definitely 30. I cannot deny it anymore. And in the work, there are so many young people who are like 23 years old, 22 years old, who is really different generation. It makes me realize that I really become a 30s. I already said in the beginning of this discussion, I sometimes feel discrepancy between who I am and social normal me.
Yeah, I've always wondered why Korea has like so much pressure in every single thing. Like we have like so much gender expectation. I know our country is pretty conservative, but besides being conservative, there are like so much like strict norms or expectations.
I realized that society is all in anxiety because Korea is really radically grown up, right? We are really poor country. We had a war and we started from nothing. That's why our parents and the whole society really feel anxiety of not stable, being stable, I think.
Having a stable job it's the whole point in life, because they couldn't live without a job. But right now we wanted to have a job where we could be free and we feel comfortable, and that's like, why do you want to look for a job like that? They think having a stable job is all that matters. So it's like we are in a transition period, because right now we are not as poor as we were back then. So differences between their generation and our generation is really extreme. Even the generation after us, they're different as well. They drop out of college, they don't even go to college anymore, and even they are different from us. So I guess when they grow up, our culture will change, and we might be the ones. Why do they live their life like that?
Anyway, you guys are really stable as 30s, right? But
You're not.
I'm not sure. Am I really different compared to 20s and 30s? When we were in university, the most concern was career thing. But still, I am having anxiety. Can I doing this job or at the end of the life? 60s or something? Do I need to change to other jobs or something? I feel lost sometimes.
Everyone has their own speed of life. no one has to be same, and everyone does not have to be different in their 20s and 30s.
Right.
Some people can be different between 30s and 40s. Some people may have their like huge second life, like chapter 2, or maybe sometimes these days like they even have like chapter 3 or 4, you know?
Right.
Again, because of the society gives you the pressure that you have to like achieve certain amount of like or a certain level of something. I think that gives you the anxiety, gives you the pressure, but everyone has their own pace. Everyone has their own speed. But I think what's more important, it's not about the speed, but the right way. You can be slow. You can somehow, I don't know, maybe we can think of you as being stable because you don't feel any difference, you know?
Right.
Like we've been going through all the anxiety, all the transitions and all the, I don't know, like discrepancies early on. But you are just being stable because you're not like, you don't have much ups and downs.
I think it's hard because people don't really talk about their struggles, and everyone has their own struggles. You said other people might think that you don't have any concerns in your life, but you do. But you don't just sit someone down and say that I have concerns about my career. We compare to other people, but they have their own struggles, but they don't really say it out loud. So we view them as they are in a stable state of mind. So we think that we have to be rushed into that state. People think that there's a society norm that you have to be at a certain stage, but I think it's actually a stage where people are so different in their stages of life. Like in your 20s, everyone is all over the place, so you don't really have a norm to compare with. But in the 30s, it's actually a point where everyone is at a different point of life, but the society tells you that you should be at this point. That's why you're feeling that discrepancy in your life. So I think it's like a point where everyone is struggling. Really working a lot towards not comparing. It's actually one of my goals.
Yeah, comparing to others and society is the most.
I know. It's the most stressful thing that you can do to yourself because you're doing that to yourself.
I know. You know what? Yesterday, Jihye came to my house and she did the Q&A. And one of the questions from her subscribers were like, I don't want to compare with others. Like, what can I do? Or is there any like way you do it? She gave one of her solution, and my solution was a digital detox. You have to delete Facebook, Instagram, or like you have to at least, not open it up so many times because you get to see what other people do, how they live their life. Then you have no choice but to compare yourselves. And all the SNS, the social media stories, the pictures and videos are all about not fake.
No, they're
not
fake life.
Not fake, but it just
life.
it shows the highlights, the good parts of your life. It doesn't show your like deep down crushing, So